I'm a teacher and I see a need for education right now because with all that is going on in the world, I see a lot of people who are striving to become more educated on racial justice issues, and specifically a lot of my non-Black family and friends, which is a good thing. We should all be striving to become more educated on these topics and to be able to speak about them. However, sometimes in our effort to become a better ally, we end up causing more harm to the Black Lives Matter movement than anything good that we're contributing. And there's a concept called intent versus impact, and it means that even sometimes when we have good intentions behind our actions, our impact can still be harmful. For example, as a white person this week trying to figure out the best way to use your voice and find out more information, you may have the good intentions of asking a Black person what you can do to help right now. The impact of that question, though, is that it puts the burden of education, the responsibility to educate, on people of color who have probably already shared that information before, already have resources available to you. You just have to take the effort to look and find that information for yourself. And you can share their work with credit to them. You can purchase things that are available to pay for. Those are all ways of showing solidarity and becoming more educated. Another example of intent versus impact could have been the Blackout Tuesday movement yesterday. Your intent behind posting a black square to show solidarity is a good thing. However, your impact could have been harmful if you didn't also take the time to amplify Black voices, which was part of the original intent, that we would amplify voices that aren't always heard and we would minimize the other voices that usually are. The intent behind saying, I think George Floyd's murder is wrong, but so is rioting, is that you are trying to find common ground. But the impact as a non-Black person saying it is that you are assuming that you know how you would react, how you would feel, what you would do if you were a part of a group that's been enslaved or oppressed since our country was founded. We can't know exactly how we would react if it was our family or friends. I don't know how I would react if my brother was murdered and justice was not served for him, just like thousands of others. And that's part of what it means to say, I understand that I will never understand, however I stand. Choosing not to post anything because you don't know what to say or you're worried that you're going to mess up. The intent is not to mess up, but the impact is that you're still making it about you or using your silence to speak for you. One of my favorite Malcolm X quotes comes from an experience he had with a white woman who approached him on how to help with racial justice issues that were going on. And he responded with nothing, but later said this in his autobiography. He says, I regret that I told her that. I wish now I knew her name or where I could telephone her or write to her and tell her what I tell white people now when they present themselves as being sincere and ask me one way or another the same thing that she asked. The first thing that I tell them is, at least for my own particular Black nationalist organization, the Organization of Afro-American Unity, is concerned, they can't join us. I have these very deep feelings that white people who want to join Black organizations are really just taking the escapist way to salve their consciences. By visibly hovering near us, they are proving that they are with us. But the hard truth is that this is not helping to solve America's racist problem. The Negroes aren't the racists. Where the really sincere white people have got to do their proving of themselves is not among the Black victims, but on the battle lines of where America's racism really is, and that's in our own home communities. America's racism is among their own fellow whites. That's where sincere whites who really mean to accomplish something have got to work, and I'll post the full quote on my stories. If you want to become a stronger ally, work by educating yourself first. Work on your own communities and your own spheres of influences, and listen and take in without inserting yourself. This movement is not centered around us, and we have to be mindful of the harm that we may cause by trying to help even with good intentions. And we will mess up along the way, and it's okay to admit that, apologize, and keep fighting. It is not condemnation to be corrected for a mistake that we make, and we need to be accountable for the ongoing work that is required of being anti-racist. This is not a temporary trend to voluntarily take part in. This is something that all of us have to work together to be a part of.